Welcome back to ADHD Whiskey. My name is Matt, and I just got back from the store where I got a scary good deal. Am I wearing my wife's Halloween cover-up thingy while she's napping? I just returned from the liquor store where I got a scary good deal. I walked in the door, I said hello. The nice lady behind the counter, super sweet, she was all, hello. I was perusing the bourbon and she pointed out a Blanton's Gold on the shelf and I was like, nice, how much? And she was like, 200. And I was like, more than you can afford, pal, Ferrari. Talking to myself. Perched next to it on the shelf, like a crow on a power line, was a bourbon that I've reviewed on the channel before. And the manufacturer suggests that it's $50, no more. Roughly $50. Knowing that this bourbon is typically marked up much, much higher than its suggested retail price, I only had to think once or twice about asking the price. Weller, what do we have here? $52 plus tax for this son of a witch. Ooh, what a scary good deal, Matt. Super weird. The bourbon market's starting to slow down and all of a sudden Buffalo Trace is providing stores with product. Needless to say, for $50, Weller 12 is like an enormously good buy, right? I'm gonna crack this baby open, I'm gonna pour it and taste it and review it, but I have to ask, before we even get this started, to hit the subscribe button, but also have to ask, if Buffalo Trace products actually sold for their MSRPs, are there any better valued bourbons on the planet? Damn it, Janet. I love you. That's just food for thought. Without further ado, let's open this witch's brew. America. This is how we know who's the witch in the bourbon community. Forgot my wife was sleeping for a second, then I threw a glass in the air. Bold strategy, Cotton. Glad it paid off. That's fun. Let the beat drop. That sounds fun. Now I did review Weller 12 back in the day when I first started my whole scoring system, and back then I was a picky little bitch. I think I gave Weller 12 a score in like a high sixes, saying it was like pretty good, bordering on good. Don't think that that was accurate. I think it probably deserved a higher score than that, but that is why we're re-reviewing Weller 12 in 2025. Also because I just got one for 50 bucks. If you want to read the story of Mr. William LaRue Weller on the back of it, you can, or I can read it for you. Born in 1825, William LaRue Weller was one of the early whiskey pioneers in America. W.L. Weller marketed his original bourbon recipe with wheat rather than rye in the mash bill. Weller spent a lifetime educating consumers about the differences in his bourbon. Wheat is a soft grain, providing this bourbon with a mild, gentle, and smooth sipping experience. Weller also believed in the importance of aging his whiskey, which of course is something you have to do if it's bourbon. You literally have to do that. This fine 12-year-old bourbon whiskey has a deep amber color. Speaking of amber, what up, girl? One of my wife's friends who lives back in Michigan, she's my hall pass. If I don't take this off, it's gonna be full of sweat and then she's gonna know I wore it. That's so much better. Yes. This smells like an oak-heavy Buffalo Trace product. I've always said if you can't find a particular Buffalo Trace product, the one you're looking for, the best substitution for it is another Buffalo Trace product. They have their own unique, sweet cherry, vanilla nose and flavor profile that just kind of make you go yum. They're extra delicate, extra sweet, and that's why they're so appealing to the masses. Buffalo Trace could start a cult and have everyone drink the Kool-Aid, resulting in a mass moida, like a cherry oak cola. Oh yeah, a sinfully sweet nose. Time to put this bourbon 6 feet under. It's good. I like this a lot. I was about to say the dumbest thing ever, but then I stopped myself from saying it. But since we're here together and we're friends, I'll go ahead and say it anyway. This is one of the oakier Buffalo Trace products on the market. Now you realize why I didn't say that, because it is old. It's 12 years old. For all of you complaining about the Knob Creek 21 being too oaky, just hear me out. As bourbon gets older, it's sitting in an oak container and it gets oakier. So, the more you know. I'm liking this a lot. There are several other bourbons on the market, 12 to 14 years old, that are 90 proof or below, that I really, really love. I think it's about time to do that flight again, to get on my broomstick and do that flight, to find out if Weller 12 would defeat all of the other low proof, high aged bourbons in one night. It's thin. It's watered down, so it is thin. Cherry notes, vanilla notes, a little graham cracker, and then a lingering oak finish. The fact that people would spend $200+ on one of these bottles boggles my mind. It's baffling. Weller got popular because people weren't able to get Pappy Van Winkle. They weren't able to get it. So they got Weller instead because it was the same mash bill from the same distillery. And it was like, oh, it sort of got Pappy Van Winkle, but it's not. Same mash bill, different dude's name. There is an underwhelming aspect to this, that it tastes a lot more like water than it does like whiskey, which some people will absolutely love about it. But I do like a thick, viscous whiskey, even if it's a lower proof. I do appreciate a sticky mouthfeel, some that hangs around on the gums a little bit. And if I had a pot, and if I had one of those witch things to it's a witch, it's a name for a pot, like a witch's pot. It's like to like make spells. Crap. Oh boy.
Hello.
Bruzel.
What's going on, man?
Hey, it's Matt Porter. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. See, I'm shooting a video, and I was like, who would know this? I've got a question, and I went through my contacts. All I had to get to was B for Bruzel. What do you?
So hopefully I've got it. What you got?
What is a witch has a pot to like make spells in, and like they stir it up, and then like, well, what's the pot called? It's like there's
Cauldron.
Like a cauldron.
Yeah.
I called the right man. Oh my, that was so fast. Everybody else sucks at this game. You're my new lifeline.
Okay, just start with me first, man. Save yourself some time.
All right, love you. Thank you so much.
All right, man.
Bye, DJ.
Later. Bye.
A cauldron. If I had a cauldron and I was able to create the perfect Weller 12, the same statistics but better, I'd make it stickier. That was my entire point of this entire thing. If I had a cauldron and I was making up a spell for Weller 12, it would make it sticker and thickier. I would appreciate it more. Third sip, then we'll give it a score. Boy, is it thin. But it tastes good, but it is thin. I see where my pickiness came from in my previous review. I didn't love it, but I didn't murder it and bury it in my backyard either. I must be getting softer with age, both physically because of obesity and visceral fat, but also in my mind. It's what happens when you're a father of 2 girls. You just get a bit softer and you have to ease up a little bit. So Buffalo Trace, you are receiving the benefit of that. Therefore, today, Weller 12 receives a very spooky score of 7.35. It is good, and it's creeping up to very good. No, that's a bullshit score. It's a very good whiskey, isn't it? Yeah, it is. I'm just being an asshole. 7.38. 7.38. For 50 bucks, I would say that it is a phenomenal buy, a tremendous buy. We can blame Sazerac and Buffalo Trace for the lack of product brought to the market, for the FOMO, the supply and demand thing. We can blame them for that, but as far as their suggested retail prices go, I think we kind of have to give them a little bit of a pat on the ass and be like, hey, you did good, but also you're doing bad. But good, bad job. Keep it up and don't do it again. Thank you for watching these extra spooky videos this October. If you're here and you haven't hit the thumbs up button, then I'm gonna dig deep into my cauldron and whip up something extra special for you. My name is Matt, this is ADHD Whiskey. Like I always say, keep your head in the clouds but your mind on making your own Halloween costumes out of sweatpants and clothing dye and paper bags and old newspapers and markers, and make yourself into your own Ninja Turtle. Pretty sure I did that as a child. I was a Ninja Turtle with a paper bag shell, and that's why all the ladies loved me. I was very resourceful, and I went to like 3 or 4 karate classes. Wait, no!